Hi everyone, I am going to go through some of the steps of making a NetArt project with HTML and CSS. And I'm going to go through step by step what I do with the HTML and CSS. But I'm not going to go through step by step what I do with Photoshop. If you want me to give you specific examples of Photoshop, I can do that. Just send me an email and I'll do that. But I'll go over really quickly what I did. So here is the project that I'm doing a reference to. My boyfriend came back from the war. And when I look at it on the Rhizome NetArt Anthology site, there's the emulator that lets me kind of go through and experience the site and figure out how I'm going to recreate this. It doesn't let me look at the code on the back end the way that I can do in something in a current browser. So I have to kind of figure out what I'm going to do. But I see here that there are iframes that are popping up as I click on them. So I'm going to construct this site using iframes and images and HTML and CSS. And I have this screenshot of the page here because I use this to prepare all of my assets and get that kind of lo-fi black and white look. So my updated version is my girlfriend came back from the culture wars. And so I found a bunch of images of the contemporary culture wars, thinking about specifically the Capitol riot. And this is just something I thought of because it was, in the news recently. So I'm just kind of using this as an example. And I took those images, I brought them into Photoshop here, and I cut out parts of the image and then used various things like the adjustment layer. So I changed the brightness, I changed the levels, the threshold. I made them black and white and played with the contrast and brightness. And then I just brought them in one by one and exported them. So I created my assets already in Photoshop, and the results of that are here, my assets final. So I have created them as PNGs, and I have just kind of a set of images to work with. I did a couple of GIFs, and then I also found a couple of just sort of black, video screen noise in case I wanted to add in something like that. I don't know yet if I'm going to use that, but here's my assets that I'm preparing to work with. So I've done that work already. And I went over this in class. I'll just go through it really quickly. If you want to kind of play with Photoshop to lay out some ideas, which I do sometimes, if you go to File, New, and then go over to Web, and I just do most common for the size, and I let it just do the default. I'm going to change this to a black background because I want a black background for my site, and hit create. It will give me these artboards automatically. And I can use this as a sort of sketch pad to lay out some of the ideas for my site. Sometimes I find that helpful, as I said, to lay out things visually a little bit before I get started. So I have that, my assets, where's that folder? Here it is. So I'm just going to take my move tool, bring this over, and start laying it out. And when I click on the artboard word right here, I get these little plus signs, and then I can add in another one. So my home screen is not going to have the image. I'm going to put that on artboard 2. Oops. Instead, and I will have my text over here, which says, you know, my girlfriend came back from the culture wars. And maybe like that. So I know that, okay, this is my home screen. And then you click on this and this will pop up and there'll be more text here. And it'll be something else. And something else over here. And oops, okay. And then I'm going to add in another artboard. So you'll click on this and it will divide it again. So another way that I could do this, so I'm kind of laying it out visually. I'm also going to think about, once I get the sort of visual idea in my head, I'm going to, I was kind of think about, okay, so here is my homepage is a box, and then I'm going to have this. Let's get, yes, okay. I'll bring this layer down. So I'll have this be a box. It's going to be its own div with an iframe, and this will be a box. It'll be a div with an iframe. And then you'll click on this, and this is going to divide again so that there are this other iframe will go like this. And then this one, when you click over here, I'm going to divide it lengthwise. And that will be another div tag that goes like this. And there's going to be an image here. So if I open another image, and I'm kind of just doing this really quickly, which is what I want to do because I don't want to spend too much time laying this out with Photoshop. I'm just using it for myself as a sketch pad. But it gives me an idea of how to then go in and code these boxes and what they're going to do. And I can see, so this is going to go, I'm going to divide this vertical, and I'm going to divide this horizontal. So I have these two boxes. This one goes horizontal, this one goes vertical. And then you click here, and these will have text and images in them. Oops. You're going to go here. Now let's see. Yes, okay. I'm just going to copy all of this, put it in my artboard and paste it. And so once you click here, this will divide again. So I'm going to get this structure, and this now is going to divide vertically. Oops, okay, get another one. And vertically. Hold shift to move it. And then I'll do this one over here and vertically. So this just lets me have an idea. Okay, so I have a single box and then these two, which are not going to be divided down the middle. And then this box on the left, I'm going to divide in half horizontally. And then this one, I'm going to divide vertically. And then this one up here, I'm going to divide vertically, and this one down here vertically. And then I'll figure out the rest of it. But that's giving you an idea of how I'm kind of laying this out a little bit ahead of time before I go to my code. So I'll just save this as example sketch. And I'll just put that on my desktop for now. Okay, so you don't have to do this, but I'm just showing you it could be a helpful tool for you if you need to kind of think about how you want to sketch things out. And it really depends on what you're working on and how you like to work. So this is not a necessary step, but can be a really useful thing to be able to go back and forth with. I did need to use Photoshop to cut out my images and to adjust them so that they have that black and white look.